Hello, everyone, and welcome and come on in. Come on in to the show. Thank you guys that follow me and support me. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe and hit the notification bell as well for your notifications as to when I will be going live. Tonight, we are going to talk about no other than the Queen Monique. Hey, girl. So Mo has had a few things she's had to say recently. And recently she did a show on her Instagram, or like a little impromptu live with her and her husband Sydney Hicks, which is also her manager. And she spoke about Dl Hughley, the comments he's been saying recently. She spoke about VLADTV and the interview and why they did not sign the contract for him to have all perpetuity to her name and to her image for the interview that she did. She talked about Gary Owens, who talks about Black people all the time, but he's a white man and he was married to a Black wife, but he kind of wants to be Black in a way, so he feels like he's a part of the crowd, but that doesn't give him a right to disrespect Black community and Black people at all. And she even did an interview recently with Indisputable and said that Tyler Perry now owes her 20 plus million for the years that the lie was told and the difficulty happened, and it shut her career down and slowed her career down. And the money she's lost from then to now, and he still hasn't apologized. And she also demanded a public apology. So I am definitely on Monique's side with this. I would not take my foot off of their neck. Monique is right, and I will continue to stand by her no matter what the people say about her, that they feel like, she's too much. Why is her husband there? All this. We need somebody to stick up for us Black people, because who else is going to do it if a Black man, or some type of man of strength doesn't do it for us, or somebody in charge don't do it for us? Who's going to do it? So I'm going to go ahead and start by playing this video. What she said, called out VLADTV, Dl Hughley, and the others on her Instagram Live. And then I'm going to go with I'm going to show you guys the interview about Indisputable, where she says that Tyler Perry owes her 20 plus million and he's had yet to still apologize. And this was in 2016 when he said he was going to apologize when the movie Boo came out. I think it was the first one. And have yet to hear from him or have him yet to do anything since to vindicate her name for telling the lie that he told, only because she wasn't obligated to do any contractual additional work for Lionsgate once the movie Precious in 2009 got sold from Lee Daniels production or entertainment studio until Lionsgate, because it became this big movie. And then she had to do the Oscars, and she was doing all of that, and it was trying to get her to do things overseas, and her contract was done. She didn't have to do anything else, and she didn't want to. And so basically they got upset with her, and Tyler Perry, we know for sure, was the one, because he admitted in this recording to her back in 2016 that he perpetuated the difficulty rumor. And so that kind of shut her career down. And so here I go. I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to play this first interview when she addressed VLADTV and Dl Hughley and all the above, honey, because it is something to hear. Let's see. No, we're going to do the entire screen. Share. Oh, maybe y'all, I don't know if y'all weren't hearing. I just realized we could share the audio. I didn't know that maybe y'all weren't hearing the audio before when I was sharing the screen. I didn't know that button was there to turn it off. I thought it was automatically on. So hopefully y'all hear it. If y'all don't hear it, let me know in the comment section afterwards or whenever y'all see it, so I know what to do. But I'm hoping that y'all can hear this. Here we go.
For Comedy Hype News, I'm John Alva. And the beef goes on. Monique has positioned herself in a series of different conflicts with peers and others in recent years. Her most notable conflict with the peer has been her back and forth with Dl Hughley. If you can recall, back in 2022, their unknown feud would take to the front page after Monique would boldly diss Hughley in front of a live audience, just before he would take to the stage. Now, fast forward, Hughley would share in an interview with Jason Lee on Wednesday that he has no interest to ever speak with Monique, and that his relationship with his daughter has been impacted by Monique's actions.
So now my question would be, how do you speak so ill about this woman and say this woman is unloved and call her husband gay and all this stuff? And when she claps back at you, now all of a sudden you don't have anything to do with her when she spoke the truth about you, but you've been saying all these things that you don't know whether it's the truth or the lie about. So, but let's listen.
Ironically, just as this new interview would premiere, Monique and her husband Sydney Hicks will go on Instagram Live for nearly an hour stream. While online, Monique would address several people, including VLADTV, Michael Blackson, Stephen A. Smith, Gary Owens, and of course, Dl Hughley.
Vlad, I'm talking directly to you, my Caucasian brother from another mother. You've continuously made statements about us trying to extort you for the interview, when in actuality, the only thing we were looking to do was make sure that you did not own Monique's image in all perpetuity. We had an interview set up with you that we confirmed on May 7th, 2018, that was scheduled for the 11th of that same week, which is 4 to 5 days away, depending upon how you look at it. You did not give us the release form until right before we were about to do the interview with you, when we had several days in advance to get that information. I was taught, and we were taught, that you never sign any documentation until you're able to read that and you have somebody read it over who you trust.
What do you say now? Now, if that couldn't be more the truth, because you know most people get over on us, especially us Black people, because they say we don't read or we don't know how to read. That's how they would get over us back in the day. That's how they got all our land and stuff back in our ancestors' land and stuff. That's how they got over us, because we did not read or we didn't know how to read, but because we didn't get the proper training or we just didn't want to read and really try to understand. And so we just signed stuff we didn't know what we were signing, and then we become fucked up. And that's how we lost a lot of our stuff. And so what he's saying is definitely valid.
You keep portraying it as if when we told you we couldn't sign it right then, you said, well, we allowed them, or I allowed them to still do the interview. If you remember, you had your guy reach out for Monique, not us reaching out to be on your platform. So you were not doing us any favor in reference to allowing the interview to continue. You were trying to work it out for yourself. And when we had our attorney look at it, essentially, when we saw the language that you would own it in all perpetuity, which means once you sell your catalog, it was explained to us, and we understood it as there was a possibility that whoever you sold that interview to, along with your others, that you owned in all perpetuity, they could cut it up and use it in any way in which they saw fit, which means we have no control over it. So what's standard in the entertainment industry, when you go on different platforms, they give you a licensing agreement and they ask for X amount of time in which to use this. And you either approve it or you don't. In your situation, we would have approved it. However, what happened was, once we looked into, or initially were looking to give you the licensing agreement, and you rejected it because you were like, you own it and what you did, and we were trying to have control over Monique's image, we had a chance to look at you and the interviews you had done because we didn't know you.
This is from you, Vlad, and we got to talk directly to you because you seem to have a lot to say, but we want to let the community know what you sent to us. Sydney, in the spirit of Monique working things out with Lee Daniels, I would like to extend my hand and work things out with you as well. I apologize for what I said about you. I felt frustrated that other YouTube channels that did interviews with her were allowed to show the interview on their YouTube channels, whereas I was only allowed to have it up for a limited time. But regardless of my personal feelings, this was your business decision, and the way I reacted was unprofessional and immature. I would like to offer her $5,000 for the interview if both of you sign a release form that allows us to keep the interview on our channel like every other channel does. Then he put Sway, Comedy Hype, Breakfast Club, etc.
To which she's never signed a release form for them.
Never. If that number doesn't work for you, I'm open to negotiating. I still feel that this is a very important interview with an Oscar winner that discusses both her professional and personal life, especially at a time when the Oscars are being discussed. Even if you choose not to accept this, I still take responsibility for my actions and hope that we can get past this and work in the future. Congratulations on your family's continued success. Now, that was the email that Vlad sent to us when he saw Lee Daniels do the public apology. Now, you want to read the response?
I will. And just keep in mind, the reason why we're reading this is because the energy that he's giving now has gone back to, I'm a piece of shit, I'm this, I'm that, and all of that. My response to Vlad was, hello, Vlad. First, thank you for the apology. However, if your expression of regret is being made in the spirit of Lee Daniels apologizing to Monique, then remember he did it publicly. That's the same place that you ironically stated the less than flattering things that you did about me. So obviously, in being in alignment with what is right, wouldn't the best place to apologize be publicly? As a man, please know I took no offense to your name calling, as it didn't make any sense that you would have disdain for me listening to our attorney as you listened to your attorney, and I didn't begrudge you. What does hurt my heart, though, is that our community doesn't see that there are no Black people who constantly bring white people on their platform to speak negatively about other white people, like you do as a white male interviewer with Black people.
Come on.
Your offer of $5,000 means that you missed the point with us, my friend. You see, we are principled individuals that are not moved by money. If spiritually, it doesn't make sense. When Monique says no to a major streaming company's offer of $500K for an hour of work, or no to Tyler Perry, who offered Monique money as his way of saying he was sorry for whatever hurt and pain he caused Monique, but she declined in exchange for a public apology that cost nothing, then why ever would she/we say yes to an interview for $5,000 or more with you?
When Vlad hears these emails,
that, by the way, he gave no response to.
when he hears that, when you hear this, Vlad, maybe the next guest you have on your platform, you won't be so readily going after our Black community. You won't be so readily, well, what about this? And what about that? And what do you think about this?
Oops, y'all, and you know what I forgot to do? Let me do this real quick. Because I didn't do this, and I don't want to get copyrighted. Give me 1 second. Gotta stop that real quick. We can resume right back, but I gotta do this first. I got to. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commentary, reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is prohibited. Fair use is a use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Okay. Just want to say that. So YouTube do not copyright me because this is all for commentary. Okay, so here we go. We're going back.
What do you think about that? And to our people, how many times have we seen white people on Vlad? And I'm not saying there's never been any. I'm not saying that. But how many times have we seen white people on Vlad, and Vlad is going against and asking what they think about other white people? Why do we keep taking the bait? You know why I'm going to keep fighting? And you know why I'm going to keep talking? I read Hattie McDaniel's story. I read Eartha Kitt's story. I read Ethel Waters' story. I made it my business to read those stories. And all of them got the same story. And if you don't believe me, go read it for yourself. They all got done dirty. They all got pushed away. They all was told they wasn't shit. They was all told they need to apologize and do this and do that and do this. And those women left here by themselves. They left here with no money. And they left here knowing that they was fighting for a community that told them to kiss their ass. So for those of you who keep saying, Monique, why are you talking? Because damn it, the little girl that comes behind me, hopefully the story gets different. Maybe 100 years from now, somebody might want to say something about Monique. I hope that little girl knows, God damn it, don't give up. Don't let people talk shit on you. Don't be unafraid to keep standing. Be unafraid to keep standing. I'm so sick of reading them stories, and all of them left here.
Our brother Dl Hughley, who I thought we extended an olive branch the last time we had commentary in reference to when his daughter spoke out, the reason why we stopped and still offered to have a conversation with him to resolve the situation was not out of fear of his daughter doing something. It was out of love for you, DL, because it would be no different than the street we came up on. You might get in a fight with little Tony down the road, but you see Tony's mama coming down the street with them bags, you better go get them bags. I'm not tripping off of what happened between me and Tony. That's his mama. That's your daughter. So we weren't going after you anymore. We weren't even going to bring you up, but you went on, was it Jason Lee?
Yes.
You went on Jason Lee's show, and you wanted to share what?
That I am the cause of the rift between you and your daughter. Dl Hughley, because you're too.
Y'all don't understand why Monique called him daddy, honey, because he is fine as hell. Don't y'all know? Look at him. Just look at him. If he ain't a good-looking black man, then tell me what ain't okay.
Afraid to sit down with us, as we've said repeatedly. Hey, brother, let's have a conversation and let's do it publicly, because our community can really heal on how we can resolve this. But you keep running, and then you keep running your mouth. And after we spoke on you last time, it was like, okay, cool. But when I watched you sit there with Jason Lee and you said, Monique is the reason I have a rift with my daughter, you're the reason you have a rift with your daughter, DL. Stop trying to run away from the fact that you did not protect your baby. And let me be clear with you about something. I'm fighting for your daughter, because I was that daughter too that had a daddy that did not protect me when I told him I was molested. So I know what that baby's sitting in, and I know what she's dealing with. And though she's a grown woman, I know the trauma that brings. And this ain't no shit that I brought to the table. You did, and what you posted. I'm getting so sick of you not taking accountability or responsibility for your words, brother. Never would I try to hurt your family, your wife, your daughter. That's not even in me.
Because she never said anything about them. She only spoke about you.
I spoke about you, but it shows too the lack of manhood that you have to try to put it off on your wife and your daughter. That's the lack of man. And then I'm getting sick of you making these comments about who's daddy's daddy. And as if I'm with a gay man. I'm tired of that, DL, because here's the one question I would ask you, brother. When you say who's daddy's daddy, who the hell is the friend? What kind of relationship did you and this man have?
Oh, did y'all not hear? She said, who is the man? Who is the man? Who's the man, DL? Why don't you just say it? Yeah, exactly.
That you would not protect your daughter. Maybe that's why your daughter's having a problem with you, because the reality is setting in that you love the man and you don't want to inconvenience your relationship with this man. So when you get,
was it a man?
I'm sorry.
No, I think it was a man, because I think he did say he in that interview with Sway when he said what he said about that. But I think now I'm gonna have to go back and double check myself. But I think he did say it was a man. So, but yeah.
You're right, Daddy. He said his friend. So we don't know. And DL, see, you keep playing.
It was a man, Monique. It was a man.
Say the name to make sure that friend doesn't do it to anybody else. Who's the friend? Or are you still so in love with this friend that you're going to protect the friend? See, I don't mess with nobody, y'all. That's not how I'm built. But when you keep putting your mouth on me and you keep running your mouth, I'm not the one that's going to back down, Dl Hughley. You know what I appreciate about Shannon Sharp? And you have people say, he's not a real journalist. He's not. What he is a true brother. What he is a brother that says, I'm going to let you tell your story. I'm going to let you tell your story. That's what Shannon. Sharp is. And that's why Shannon Sharp, Club Shay Shay, is so successful, because that brother talks to you with no judgment. That brother ain't trying to put nobody against nobody. He's simply letting you tell your story. And I think some people may have a problem.
When it came to Gary Owen, Monique would push back on Owen, at one point going against Monique for calling out producer Will Packer. Her husband, Sidney Hicks, would label Owen as a guest within the culture and should credit his black wife for his past. Now, when this was all done, Monique would post to Instagram Live with the following caption: "Truth, accountability, and trauma. We love us for real." For some, however, it appears that Monique's constant conflict with others is hitting a sour note, as one follower would write, "Please, people, never do business with Monique and her daddy. If things don't go like the way they want, they will blast you and title it Truth, Accountability, and Trauma." Another one would go on and say, "It's always something with y'all. It's so exhausting." And another would write, "Here we go again." Now, others in Monique's comments, however, would go on to encourage her to keep speaking up and telling her truth. Neither Gary Owens, Dl Hughley, Michael Blackson, or VLADTV has yet to respond. Let's talk about it more in the comments below. Plus, stay up to date for the latest news and comedy by subscribing here to our YouTube channel and follow Comedy Have across all social media.
I think Monique should keep speaking out. Yeah. Why should she be quiet? Why should she, if it's gonna help the next person, why should she stay silent? You know, people have been taught for many years to stay silent and to be quiet and to live in the trauma. Why should she live in that trauma? Why? It makes no sense. That's how we a community can heal and how we can do better in our culture. And instead of y'all just saying be quiet and, you know, do all of this stuff, y'all don't really know the full details. You know what I mean? You know what that woman has had to walk through, and that may be her way of healing and her way of dealing with all of that. If she's speaking out loud instead of bottling it all in and being like, for example, Taraji P. Henson, and exploding probably all at once, or, you know, being almost on a mental psychotic break because you can't really, you know, deal with anything. So, yeah. She should speak out, and I don't care what anyone says. I'm gonna look up Monique on Indisputable because this link did not work. Here we go. This here is where her and Sydney was saying that they wanted to
Tyler Perry admit
Tyler Perry that he paid them for the years that they missed, that their career went sideways and went downhill after the lie and the rumor was told. And she said that was at that time back in 2016. However, he still has not spoken out like he said he was going to do and try to vindicate her. So now she wants the $20 million as well, plus that she has lost during all of this time. So here we go.
We have the audio. He could have, in fact, been forthright about Monique not being difficult to work with. We have this and a lot more. And we have an in-depth exclusive interview with Monique and Sydney. Let me take you to some of that audio first. Here it is.
If Monique asked Lionsgate for a favor and they told her no, and she's asking for a favor that is not contractual, not something that they're contractually obligated to do, and they told her no, but then she went and told the world how difficult that they were, do you think that that would be fair or unfair?
No, that's not fair. It's not fair.
So the question, pardon me. So the question I would ask of you, good sir, because I appreciate you being honest enough to answer that with a relative quickness. I really do. So the question that I would ask you is this: if we should do unto others as we would have them do unto ourselves, the question I would ask is, how do you sit back, or how would you feel if someone said about you that you were difficult to work with because you didn't want to perform for them a function that you were not contractually able or obligated to do. How would you feel about that?
Well, as I said, that's not fair. If I bring a movie for Monique over there, I'm gonna have to say it. I'm gonna have to defend it. I'm gonna have to fight them. Well, it's easy. It's easy because all you would be doing is telling the truth.
How do you sign on as executive producer of a movie and then you get upset because what you asked her to do is she's not contractually obligated to do, and then you get mad and say she's difficult, but you say if you specifically did a movie for Monique and you offer Monique a role in the movie, yourself, you would have to say it. What's the difference? You still did the damage either way, so you need to own it, brother, and tell the truth.
Truth. You are 6'6" black man.
Come
okay?
on. I ain't got no problem, man. I ain't got no problem. Trust me when I tell you, I ain't got no problem.
Well, that's why we saying then. Then say it now. Say it now.
Say it now. I'm black and I'm proud.
Come on.
James Brown is counting.
I'm saying it now. I will let all of this cool off when I get back out on the press tour to promote my next thing. I know it's going to come up. That is when I will talk about it. But no, it's too hot. It's too hot. Y'all heated it up.
Put up the picture full mass. Let me give you a quick background, and then I'm going to go to Sydney and Monique. Put up the picture full mass. Several years ago, Rolling Out obtained a never-before-heard phone conversation between Monique, her husband, manager, Mr. Sidney Hicks, and Mr. Tyler Perry. Monique aired her grievances with Perry on the tape. This was a call, a conversation, before the subject came up during the Club Shay Shay interview with the big homie Shannon Sharp. In the recording, Tyler Perry admits that the, quote, difficult to work with brand, which has been attributed to Monique, was completely unfair. The movie director also said that he would pay Monique additional money for the movie, Precious, something Monique says never happened. Perry also is heard admitting he believed Monique should have been paid to promote the movie Precious overseas, a point Monique has made on multiple occasions, but received harsh criticism from many. Now, today, the record gets straight again. Sydney, Monique, welcome to the show. How are you both?
Hey, Brother Rashad.
How you doing now? Good.
But I got to tell you, I don't know where y'all coming from, but wherever y'all coming ahead into, y'all damn sure look good. All right?
Just for you,
We're
brother.
coming to see you.
This was interesting. So my team and I, we reviewed the audio. There are some very telling things inside of this. It almost felt like a movie drama. There were points of understanding, points of clarity, points that made you say WTF, points that made you root for the unity that seemed as if it was definitely going to happen. And I want to be very fair and very open about this conversation. So before we get into some of the recorded elements here, Monique, if you would, provide the background as to why this conversation happened, why you recorded it, and to my understanding, you waited a year or so before you ever released it to anyone. So talk to us about that.
The backstory is, Rashad, I did a joke when I did the Apollo on Mother's Day. And I said that those people, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels at the time, and Lionsgate, I said that they could do some things that was explicit, right? And they were the...
Hold on, y'all. Wait just a minute. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to remove myself for just a minute and put this back on here for y'all. But I'm going to be right back.
The reason why I was blackballed. We get a call from Tyler Perry. And the reason why we recorded it, Rashad, because we knew if we didn't, it would totally be my word against Tyler Perry's word. And because Tyler Perry is, I'll say, powerful, who would they believe? This powerful movie director, writer over this fat black woman, who are they going to believe? So that's why that was recorded. So while we're talking to Tyler Perry and you hear the recording and you say it sounds like it was almost when we hung up, no one was mad, no one was upset. because we took him at his word when he said, when my movie Boo comes out, I'm going to take care of this. Well, that never happened. And we waited, like you said, we waited a year before we said anything because we wanted to see if that brother was going to keep his word.
Let me follow up with this. In that 1 year, while you're waiting on the movie, he did not want to disrupt the flow of money, people patronizing the film. You all seem to be respectful of that. There's no comment, no direct communication afterwards. Was there some level of communication via text message or anything? Sid, and I'll go to you as the manager and the manager company. Was there any official communication between the Tyler Perry camp and management or you specifically?
If I may just go back, and I'll definitely answer your question. Okay. In reference to what you asked initially, what spawned the call? What actually spawned the call was we had done our podcast, Monique and Sydney's Open Relationship. He heard that podcast where Monique and I were discussing the challenges that took place associated with the movie in conjunction with the things that took place in her life. He reached out to some folks at the radio station and tracked my number down. So we weren't expecting his call. So when he called, that's when, and he started talking because he said he heard the podcast, his heart went out. At that moment, that's what prompted us to record it. As it relates, if we fast forward to that year in between, there were no texts, there was no commentary, there was nothing in return. And I may have shot one or two, like, hey, what's happening, to no reply. And that pretty much was it.
I think most people, Monique, will understand the cause and effect of how this impacted your career. But if you could, just give us the scenario from your point of view. What did Tyler Perry do and what ripple effect did it have in Hollywood?
Well, when you say that we're difficult, when you say that about a Black woman in Hollywood, as we saw what happened to our sister Janet from Fresh Prince, when you say that, it puts the nail in the coffin. Because now nobody wants to touch you. Nobody wants to work with you because you're supposed to be difficult. And my manager husband, he's difficult. So to say, what did it do? It shut my career down to a place where I knew we were affected. I knew that there was a major impact on my family financially because of that rumor and lie that was told.
I want to go to this first clip. I have a few of them. We're going to go through them sequentially. Here it is.
You've not answered that question. That's a very simple question.
I said to you earlier, Sadiq, that wouldn't be fair. I wouldn't think that was fair.
But what would you want to be done, sir?
How would you want it fixed, Tyler?
How would you want that fixed?
And
how would I want what fixed?
Let me tell you.
The reputation, how would I want that fixed?
Let me tell you.
What exactly are you asking?
Let me tell you. My husband is that part of our team that he has the business conversations. I'm the part of the team that you saw May 13th on the stage. So what I would ask you is, because you're talking in Tyler Perry language, I would ask you to let Monique talk to Medea. Because when you start talking in Tyler Perry language, brother, you talk like you don't get it. Right, you gotta laugh at it because you know. I really am trying. Let me tell you.
Ask me simply what the question is.
Let me tell you, Tyler, when I watch your movies, I dig Medea. And you know why I dig her? You know why I dig her, Tyler?
Because she could be your mother.
You know why I dig her?
Yeah.
You know why I dig her? Because that bitch is real to her gut.
During this part of the conversation, and I want to remind people it was Tyler who reached out. During this point of the conversation, it seems as if he's well aware that he has some level of, he's been complicit and wants to make it right. And there are recommendations that you all are making. And then you all put it on him to say, listen, Tyler, what would you want someone to do for you if this happened to you? Am I correct on the assessment so far?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Let me go to, and producers, we're going to go to clip 3, and this is where Monique talks about the dynamics associated with, with the rest of it. Here it is.
And she don't give a how I come out. She don't give a how it's taken, but everybody knows she love you, but she gonna tell you the real. See, when you stepped away from Madea and you became Tyler Perry, the billionaire, this is the conversation you're having. Like, well, guys, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? See, you a brother that slept in your car. And you needed to fight for you to get you up out the goddamn car. See, your mama that you love so dearly. See, this is when I know that the powers that be and everybody saying on the radio and everybody saying on the media, oh my God, it's Oprah and Tyler. They're the ones that can employ her. Why ever would she say it? Because I love them. That's why I'm saying it. Because I'm tired of reading the stories 100 years from now where we had to go through this. And we watch our brothers and sisters die and suffer in silence and in poverty, and we know they was right. So what I'm saying to you is, Madea, make Tyler's ass step his ass up. I'm talking to Madea right now. Madea, I need you to pull Tyler's ass in the back and say, baby, you watching this sister and you watching her family starve. You're watching it. And you're saying, what do you want me to do? Listen, don't you play with that baby like that. You know this y'all did was wrong to her. You gave them $400,000 to $500,000 to charity, and you know that bitch got $50,000. Where's my pistol, Brown? Where's my pistol? Because I need to shoot this. Now, I'm not going to kill him. I'm going to shoot him in his ass to let him know Madea is mad as right now. Right. See, that's why I'm talking to my brother.
Tyler Perry understood every single word of that. Listen, and so he then, it is interesting, he offers to write a check, and I thought this part was very interesting in the recording. Here it is.
So I appreciate you calling me. I do. I appreciate you calling us. But when you call me, what you gonna do?
I'm gonna call and find out whatever money is coming in from Precious, and I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it over to you. Whatever it is, I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna write you a check. I mean, seriously, where we are right now and what we're trying to do, we got some opportunities that a lot of most people didn't have. So what I don't want you to feel one day, not one day, is that you were mistreated or that you were treated unfairly. Now, if that means that I that's what I need to do, then you do that. You do that. You take that and take it from a place of love.
Let me tell you where I'm gonna take it from. Let me tell you where I'm gonna take it from. I'm gonna take it from it's business, and I'm gonna take it from my brother saying, listen, yo, this is what y'all was supposed to get.
Here's what we're saying is, when you say, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but I'm gonna send you the check, listen, not charity, brother. What's not gonna take place on our watch is this. I wrote a check for something that came in, and it's one of those things where you're missing the point. And we believe enough in the universe to understand that, listen, when a person comes to you sincerely with understanding what it is that you're talking about, versus just saying, I'm gonna find out what it is and I'm gonna write a check. This is the way that this is being done. It's like, don't throw us no chump change, because we had to go through a movie audit with Lee for monies that he didn't get. And they're saying that he did something with the money from the movie. Okay. These are the things that we had to deal with.
Okay. Now, and I want to say this to be fair, I have significant respect for what Tyler Perry does and the contributions that he has made generally to Atlanta and beyond during holidays, etc. This is not about that. This is about truth. This is about a false narrative being corrected. And here on Indisputable, we stand upon that. Now, before I go to the next clip, Sydney, I want to go to you, because I clearly heard you step in and basically say, we don't want a check from you. We don't want your money. We don't want a contribution. We want fairness and restoring. And there was another part of the conversation where Monique talked about just restore basically what was ripped apart, because you all can earn in Hollywood without the barrier, and you don't need a contribution. You need a significant element of truth that comes to the forefront, which was once again admitted to in the conversation. So Sidney, I go to you first about that. What made you jump in and say we're not going to take a contribution from you?
Because what that means is we write you the check, we're good. But that same barrier that was put up falsely still exists. We're not supposed to comment about the check. We're supposed to not comment about anything else. You wrote us and you bought us off, and now we're quiet. The same people that we present ourselves as publicly, that's who we are privately. So to have a man of his alleged stature, whatever you consider his stature to be, try to buy us off and keep things quiet, essentially, is how it felt. There's a level of astuteness to business that me being the Negro husband that people oftentimes underestimate. And for us, we saw that coming, if you will, and just the level of integrity as it relates to money. It's not the end all, the be all. We're going to be all right. That's how we looked at it. But what will make us better is your restoration of the imagery that you projected about this Black woman.
Monique, what did you want Tyler Perry to actually do? Because obviously you didn't want a contribution either.
What I said on the phone call. Apologize. You put that out there publicly, that I was difficult to work with. You put that out there publicly. So I need you to publicly apologize. That's it. That's all we were asking Tyler Perry for at that time. At that time. We just want you to apologize, brother. Whatever monies you were talking about from Precious, apologize. Give me back my name. Give that back to me. I worked hard for that, Rashad. I worked hard in my career. No one ever can tell you about any difficulties they had with Monique until this movie, Precious. No one has a story until I started saying no. That's when it became a problem. So at that time, what I wanted from Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, Lee Daniels was a public apology.
So, yeah, go ahead, brother.
I was going to say, and you can tell the value of an apology, the net worth of an apology as it relates to what it means to a person, because Tyler Perry is a man who's been known to give rides on his private jet. He writes checks for homes that burn down, which is a very noble act. Tips to waitresses, $3,000. All of these things, but you mean to tell me something that you don't owe, you write a check for $1 million to Cicely Tyson for all the wrongs that she experienced, but a free apology for the wrongs that you commit, you mean you cannot do that? So the importance of an apology kind of speaks to it was more valuable than the check that he could have easily written.
So far, as we, count the record, Lee Daniels has apologized to Monique in a very public and emotional way. We've also had Charlamagne the God apologize. Actually, he's apologized multiple times. That apology was not the first time he said he was wrong about what he said and how he jumped on that bandwagon. And I have to submit, people like that, to me, are very courageous in those moments. It's not easy to do things like that, especially in positions of leadership and popularity. So now we are here. I'm going to play this recording. This is the final recording I'm playing on the show today. And Tyler Perry basically agrees. Here it is.
The community is involved and they want to see how it's going to play out, because the community is saying, wait a minute, y'all, hold up. We don't know this sister to be no. We know she a loud mouth. We know she'll say something off the wall, but what we know about it is she true to her word.
And all I would ask you is two questions. The first question is, did you not just say it was wrong?
Tyler.
Did you not just say it was wrong, Tyler? To say she was difficult for not doing something that she was not contractually obligated to do? Did you not say that you would feel that that was wrong? Or am I missing something?
I absolutely said that, yes. And I'm listening to David Talbot thing in a minute, because I just watched your podcast, and it really broke my heart, because number one, I feel you. I feel the sadness that's from you in all of this. And I don't want you to feel that. I mean, especially for me, I can't speak for anybody else. But for me, I'm not anyone that wants to hurt or offend anybody, especially you. I think you are brilliantly talented. I think you should have a lot more happening that you from that award. I thought for sure that if you had campaigned and wanted and played by their rules, what would have happened is in the next deal, you would have got more money, millions of dollars, and your career in this film would have been much different. I believe that much in your talent. So in saying all of that, I just say it's just heartbreaking because I don't ever want you to think that I'm out trying to blackball or say anything. But please give me when I say this. I'm not trying to hurt you. I would never try to hurt you.
Okay. You know, I believe Tyler Perry is a good man who is influenced by some extremely negative things. Leadership matters in moments like this. Leadership matters. You can be good, lack leadership, and equate to looking bad. So from that conclusion and the summary of the statements that were made, Sydney, I'm going to go to you first. What did you conclude was going to happen after that conversation with Tyler Perry?
Well, there's a clip that I believe y'all have that actually has him saying that when he went out on his next promotional tour for Boo, that's when he would say something in reference to making it being known as it related to Monique, because he was sure they would ask him. It didn't play in that one. So we were under the impression that that's what he was going to do.
Monique?
Same thing.
Yeah.
But like when we hung up that call, Rashad, it wasn't, I hate you. And it was okay. It was all right, brother. All right, sister. And one of the things he said, and this is where, for me, I take issue. Okay. I take issue with a brother that goes to a church and lays hands on TD Jakes. And when he lays hand on TD Jakes as if he's anointed through Jesus, TD Jakes then does the Jesus shuffle. And then he writes TD Jakes a check for $1 million. I take issue with that because when we're faced with this, as you're supposed to be this anointed man of God, but you know what you said, and you know what you said you were gonna do, and none of that happens. See, when I start seeing things like that, Rashad, for me, that's fraudulent. It's like, what are we doing? And it's happening right before our eyes. Like for the people that's listening to this right now, they hear Tyler Perry. They hear this man saying, what I did was wrong, and I'm gonna make it right. They hear it. But because we get caught up oftentimes in our community, it's who the messenger is if you're gonna be heard. It's what does it look like? Who's delivering this message? And as my husband said to me years ago, Mama, it's gonna catch up.
Just give me a little time. Statement made is here.
If Monique asked Lionsgate for a favor and they told her no, and she's asking for a favor that is not contractual, not something that they're contractually obligated to do, and they told her no, but then she went and told the world how difficult that they were, do you think that that would be fair or unfair?
No, that's not fair. It's not fair. No,
So the question, pardon me. So the question I would ask of you, good sir, because I appreciate you being honest enough to answer that with a relative quickness. I really do. So the question that I would ask you is this. If we should do unto others as we would have them do unto ourselves, the question I would ask is, how do you sit back, or how would you feel if someone said about you that you were difficult to work with because you didn't want to perform for them a function that you were not contractually able or obligated to do? How would you feel about that?
Well, as I said, that's not fair. If I bring a movie for Monique over there, I'm going to have to say that. I'm going to have to defend it. I'm going to have to fight them.
Well, it's easy. It's easy because all you would be doing is telling the truth. You a 6'6" black man.
Come on.
Mo,
Listen, I ain't got no problem, man. I ain't got no problem. Trust me when I tell you, I ain't got no problem.
well, that's why we saying then.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Then say it now. Say it now.
Say it now. I'm black and I'm proud.
Come on.
James Brown is counting.
I'm saying it now. I will let all this cool off when I get back out on the press tour to promote my next thing. I know it's going to come up. That is when I will talk about it. But no, it's too hot. It's too hot. Y'all heated it up.
Basically, I would do it when I go back out in these streets after this movie. Right now it's a little too hot, but I will go out here and clean it up. I'm paraphrasing. And that to me was that joyous moment I was telling you about. You're happy to feel and see the unity. For context, Monique, remind people what year we're talking about here.
Yeah, 2016.
2016.
Yes.
And you waited over a year, and there were attempts made to connect with Tyler Perry to say, okay, a year is gone, movie, box office, all that's over with now. We need you to do what you said you would do. Naturally, there's this push that says, Monique is dishonest about what Tyler Perry said he was going to do. No, she was not. And see, that has to matter somewhere. Even if you don't like a methodology of how the communication went, if you don't particularly like some of the other dynamics, you can't say, but I don't like truth. That what you just heard on this show is truth. Deal with it. Deal with the truth in all aspects. So now, fast forward, we're in 2024. Have you all reconciled? Has there been a follow-up conversation since 2016? Has anything happened?
Has Tyler Perry called you yet?
No.
Then he hasn't called us either.
Wow. And no one, and I'm asking this to be thorough. That's all. No one from the camp, no liaison.
The only person that has apologized is the person that I had a contract with, and that is Lee Daniels.
Yeah.
That's the only person that's apologized. Not Tyler Perry, not Oprah Winfrey, no one from Lionsgate, no.
And how is that not telling that the only person who apologized was Lee Daniels, and she had a deal with him? But Oprah and Tyler are teaching seminars on resilience and forgiveness. And the only thing that they seem to be resilient at is not taking ownership of what it is that they were a part of regarding dismantling this Black woman's career.
There's an ebb and flow in life. And sometimes we have to be very intentional about making sure we match the universe, because there's an ebb and flow of the universe. And I tell my college students this very often, especially my physics students. When we position ourselves in a particular leadership fashion, we think we are the professor, the teacher, the lecturer. But every true professor, every true teacher, every true lecturer knows this: you are a forever student, because life itself is your teacher. All right. At this point, it's out there. Full truth has been exposed. A lot of truth is happening. The earth is vibrating in a particular way this season. A whole lot of truth coming out. So what would you like to happen after this interview? What are you open to happening after this interview, Monique?
Rashad, in 2016, we said, give us an apology that was free.
Okay.
It's now 2024, and Tyler Perry has cost me and my family millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, based on his words, based on what I should have been paid for my next movie and the next thing coming up. So at this point, Rashad, yes, Tyler Perry, you need to not only apologize, but you need to pay for that because you admitted to it. See, it's something different if it's just my word against his word. But you admitted to what you did was wrong. You told that the other director a lie. And you was very free in telling him that lie. So I know that it did not just stop with David Talbert.
Or stop.
Right. It didn't start or stop with David Talbert. And Tyler Perry, he really had an out with David Talbot, but he went on to tell him how difficult I was because he asked David Talbot, how was it to work with Monique? David Talbot said it was exceptional. She was a joy to work with. At that point, that was his out. Mm-hmm. But then he went behind him and said, oh, that's not the experience I had with her. She was difficult and it was hard. So when you had your out, you didn't take it. You still went behind a man that said I was exceptional to work with to try to discredit me, to speak and say, oh, she's difficult. And we all know what that word means in a business called Hollywood.
Yeah. Everything's being highlighted now where Black women in particular not being paid anywhere near their value, being undervalued for decades, obviously in the industry, women in general, Black people collectively. These dynamics are industry dynamics. It's not as if the rich people who made billions don't have money. That's just what they say. And they're very good at calculating things in a particular way. And these studios are very good also at co-opting certain people to become apologists for their misbehavior. I'm glad that you all are willing to come on the show, tell the truth. We will bring updates, obviously, as they come. Any final words to those who are watching?
If you're in a situation where somebody's taking advantage of you, don't be so much afraid of speaking out about the one taking advantage of you. Be afraid of not speaking out because of the continuance of them taking advantage of you.
And with that, thank you both for being on the show today.
Thank you, Brother Rashad.
Thank you.
So, what did y'all think about that? Yeah, I totally agree with Monique. She said that was in 2016. At that time, you didn't have a price. We didn't ask you to pay anything. We just asked you to just say apology and vindicate me, and that costed nothing. But you waited. Now it's 2024, and you still cost my family millions, and the price is adding up. So now I'm gonna let you see, you owe me the check. Now you owe me the check and you owe me the apology. So, what you gonna do? You need to vindicate me, Tyler Perry. And I don't blame Monique. She needs to keep her feet on his neck, and I would not let it off. Something this detrimental to her reputation, her career, and her livelihood, her family livelihood, and generation. I do not blame her at all. The issue that I have with, though, is that when people do interviews with Tyler Perry, it's as if, and Oprah Winfrey, it's as if none of them really want to touch on the situation at hand that they know is there. I don't know if it's that they've been advised not to ask, or they're going to be sued, or what it is, but people need to start bringing it up in their interviews. Make them swallow that. Make them have to answer to it. Be a good journalist. Be a good interviewer. That's what people need to start doing. And so we're going to keep following up. I'm going to pray for Monique. I really am, because I understand how it is. And this is really detrimental. And I look at her and I just say, wow, I really want her to just get out of this. I really want her to just get, be vindicated. I want her to be, have her career. She deserves the work. You know what I'm saying? She was a contractual obligated. This slavery, y'all. That's not right. You know what I'm saying? So it's not too many people even working, regular jobs like McDonald's or some shit. We not finna do, no extra work without pay. A lot of us aren't finna do that. Most of us aren't going to do that. So Monique don't deserve that. And so with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. I want you guys to like, share, tell a friend, tell more friends about this channel. Engage with me. Like, share, and subscribe. And hit the notification bell for future lives and every future shows. There are other things I want to talk about. I hope everyone's having a happy Saturday. And I hope everyone has a good Saturday night. I'm just going to go soak in the tub, and I'm just going to get ready to go do some things with some friends tonight. So I thank each and every one of you for your support. And I hope to continue to see you more. And until next time, I will catch you guys later. Don't you guys party too much tonight, and don't party too hard, okay? Bye.